good to be back with the start of the second half of the PWHL season, and we'll take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Scotiabank, proud to be the official bank of the PWHL. It's the former Siren Abby Rocca on the left wing to start things off for Montreal. She'll be centered by the newly minted gold medalist, United States Olympian Haley Skamura, with Maureen Murphy on the right, Nicole Gosling and Amanda Boulier on defense, and Renee Desbiens, the Canadian goaltender, is in the cage. And for New York, Casey O'Brien centers the starting line with Maddie Wheeler and Czechia's Christina Kaltenkova, who made her Olympic debut this year. Jamie Bourbonnais and Allison Simpson on defense. Kaylee Osborne between the pipes, a Canadian Olympian who played in her first games this year. There is Kaylee Osborne. She has started all but one game this year for the Sirens, a coming-of-age season for the 23-year-old who's tied for the league lead in shutouts with Renee Desbiens, and Boston and Team USA's Aaron Frankel. And there is Renee Desbiens, who leads the league in, well, just about everything. So as we start the run to the Walter Cup, a privilege to be back with you and calling the Sirens and the Victoire. Thank you so much for joining us alongside the three-time U.S. Olympian Gigi Marvin, Andrew Luftglass, and Abby Labar, welcoming you back to the show. Nicole Gosling with the puck for Montreal, a team that enters today in third place in the standings. They've finished top two in the league each of the last 2 years. And New York, 14 games away from potentially making their first postseason berth in team history. They are hanging on to what is the last postseason spot right now. Simpson sweeps it across. Kaltenkova over for Wheeler. Interrupted by Gosling. Stepped into by Kaltenkova, who gets run to the wall by Nicole Gosling. Was one of three players on Montreal who was part of the starting six in January. Top six players in the league, along with Poulin, Desbiens, and for New York, Kaltenkova.
A lot of neutral zone play so far to start the game. As Coach Fargo mentioned and Abby touched on, the nerves might be there. Haven't played a game in the PWHL in a while, so just to settle down, keep it simple, and communicate with your teammates.
Both coaches harped on simplicity and the fact that there will be a little bit of nervous energy coming off of this first shift as Jade Downey Landry touches the puck for the first time. She's a former Siren who came back to the lineup after being on LTIR in the beginning of the year. She made a return at the start of January against New York. Cherkowski.
Good stick by Tabin. Holding the line. That's what Coach Chevry wanted to see out of their defenders, especially in the neutral zone.
Maggie Flaherty walks in. Osborne didn't handle it. Loose puck side of the net. Swiped to the corner and wrapped all the way around for Peyton Levis to chase. Levis one-on-one with Tabin. She gets sealed off, but still comes out the other side in the corner. Levis, a centering feed looking for Taylor Gerard. That one thrown back on Renee Desbiens and punched to the corner. To the left point for Bernard. Taylor Gerard, her first shift back after serving a 3-game suspension for leaving the bench during an end-of-game altercation last time these two teams played. Originally a 4-game suspension that was later decreased to 3. It's been a long time for her since she's been on the ice in game situation. 3-game suspension plus the Olympic break. Greg Fargo told us, she said, it's been 45 days since I've played, not that I've been counting.
It's a very long time to wait, and so she's eager to get going. Gave her a big hug before the game downstairs in between their warm-ups and getting ready for going on the ice. And so I know she's ready to go and excited to compete with her teammates.
Alexandra LaBelle poked ahead for Catherine Dubois. Chased down by Jamie Bourbonnais. Flex to the corner for New York to try a breakout. Now Harchie couldn't get it cleanly and popped back in front of the Montreal bench. This is picked up by Cheyenne D'Arcangelo. Over for Bourbonnais. Goes D-to-D with Simpson. Now Kaltenkova. Leaves one for O'Brien. They couldn't connect. Two of the league's top rookie scorers. Kaltenkova leads the league in goals now. She's been on a surge now with 11 on the season, including 7 in the month of January. Kaltenkova lays a big hit at the blue line, sending Gosling flying. And Greg Fargo, it's interesting. when we talk to both coaches, Gigi, very different philosophies for both of them on what they focused on with their players during the break. As Cherkowski blocks that shot by Tabin, she's off to the races, and her shot is interrupted by Tabin, who nearly slammed her into the cage.
Really good defensive recovery by Tabin, as it looked like Cherkowski had the legs and the speed on her.
Skamura trying to throw one toward Osborne, but missed the net. Corey Chevry was leading a program, or her assistants were leading a program that was heavily focused on conditioning. For New York, Gigi, Greg Fargo and company were focused on skill work above all else.
And I think there's a mix, right? I'm sure there's the competitive feeling within the conditioning, or as we as players like to say, a hitting conditioning drills, where you know that, yes, it's working on skills, but it's also to elevate your heart rate and keep your pace of play up.
Levis with a shot that's plugged down. Gerard in a battle in the corner. Jessica DiGirolamo slips through the other side, and now a big hit by Abby Rock in the corner. Over the line come the Victoire for a shot by Derek Gregg, and she scores! Montreal strikes first. 5 minutes in, the second of the season for Gregg.
Really good work off the rush. So Gregg keeps the puck with her skate in. And then Ljungblom also fighting for it, but Gregg is able to turn around, find that loose puck, and rip it far side on Osborne. That just goes past her for the first goal for the Victoire in the second half of the season.
And for a goaltender, that has to be a really tough play. High danger area, loose contested puck, and the shot comes so quickly as soon as Gregg collects.
And to be able to see through those moving screens high up as well. And that's actually also the area that Skamura was shooting when she came down wide on the left side.
Ryan trying to dig it out. Mike Zandy hard in the battle in the corner with Laura Stacy. Puck chip to the corner. Lion Island Person tying up Jade Downey-Landry. Sent low for Stacy. Centering feed, score! 2 in under a minute for the Victoire. This one courtesy of the former Siren, Jade Downey-Landry.
Just a beautiful tic-tac-toe play for the Victoire as the puck tries to get up to Colton Kova, but really good pressure by Cheyenne Darkangelo, moving it down. Stacy looks quickly over her shoulder, which is key. She looks up, locates Downey-Landry, and look at the placement. Such a skilled play, going top shelf, one-timer, drops to her knee to elevate it even more over Osborne's glove.
And this is where staying fresh has to be so important for Downey-Landry, because obviously Laura Stacy's had high-level competition at the Olympics the last couple of weeks. Downey-Landry ready for the quick trigger as soon as that puck comes to her.
Absolutely, and also give big credit to Cheyenne Darkangelo. Her anticipation of the play, getting to it quickly, and then moving it down the wall, knowing her teammate was poised for the puck.
Flaherty throws one wide of the net. Cherkowski all the way across for Sarah Fillier. She's 1 on 5, opts for the shot and rips one wide. Dale Ross sweeps one across for Lauren Bernard. Finds Emmy Fecto. Fecto ridden off the puck by Derek Gregg as she gets it deep. Tabin with the poke around the stick of Anna Bargman. Up to center, Nina Youngblom. Gregg trying to chip it ahead. Over for Ross, now Fecto. New York trying to get it up ice. Swept across by Gerard. Bargman ridden into the wall by Youngblom. Puck comes free, back the other way, Natalia Malinkova. She's pushed away by Gerard. Ross with it. New York having a hard time exiting the zone. Kayla Vespa chipped ahead by Gerard. And sweeps back for DiGirolamo to start the breakout for Montreal.
Really good step up by Gia Quinto in the neutral zone, and then back pressure by Malinkova, who's able to start the puck the other way by the Victoire.
Archie will get it deep. New York tries to start the forecheck. Nicole Gosling trying to get it up ice. Spins away from the pressure of Vespa. Archie comes flying in on the forecheck. He's ridden off the puck by Boulier. Sirens trying to take it low to high. Swept back behind the net by Caitlin Willoughby. Boulier to collect. Her second full season with Montreal after coming over from Ottawa in a trade in season 1.
Noise, you're good, you're good.
Colton Kova dumps it in on Desbiens. Loops it behind the net. Colton Kova coming together with Flaherty. Now Stacey across for Jade Downey Landry. Punched over for Simpson. Under the stick of Colton Kova for Desbiens to play it again. Wheeler laying the check on Stacey. They both go down. Into the zone, Downey Landry. Downey Landry on the backhand, trying to turn away from her former teammate, Jamie Bourbonnais. Instead, picked up by New York and back the other way. Colton Kova leaves it for Simpson. New York getting a change. Simpson jumping in the mix offensively. It's Casey O'Brien to wheel back with it, trying to fire one across. Hopping puck on the poke check will send it back to Montreal.
Really good idea by Casey O'Brien. I love how she doesn't force it. That she had players attacking her, so she peeled back along the wall, looked for that high play, but Marie Murphy was there to take the puck away. So she kind of hid herself, deceived the players because she was disguised so well in the zone, and popped her stick out, kept the puck out of the play.
O'Brien, the former Patty Kaz winner with Wisconsin. Second in the league in rookie scoring this year. Behind teammate Christina Kaltenkova. 11 points on the season for O'Brien. Skylar Irving comes out the corner with it. Chased down by Sarah Fillier. Opts to send it below the goal line for Abby Rock. She's crunched by Dale Ross. Youngblom, the Swedish Olympian, sends it to Katie Tabin. Tabin throwing one toward net. Hit off the side of the mesh. Now Fillier. One of the question marks for New York, can Sarah Fillier's hot scoring touch in the Olympics lead to some more goal scoring during the PWHL season? Thrown in front, another chance for Montreal. They make it 3-0. Kaylee Osborne's always been so good at playing the puck, fumbled that one, and Skylar Irving is the beneficiary with the first goal of her PWHL career.
You see that back there. Skylar Irving just takes a shot, gets the puck, throws it net front as Kaylee Osborne kind of waits a little bit too long as Irving's already on top of her, and it seems like the puck is just kind of, there have been a couple times playing the puck today already where that first shot on net wasn't able to really hold on to it.
10 minutes and 7 seconds into the first period to try to reset. Montreal has come out of the gates punching. Dara Gregg, Jade Downey Landry, and Skylar Irving now with the first of her career. Irving, who had 99 points in 152 collegiate games with Northeastern. New York trying to answer. Girard couldn't find the hopping puck. Curled back by LaBelle. Chipped out by Dubois. Well, Montreal with a fast start in the return to action. 3 goals in the first 10 and change.
As we welcome you back to Prudential, it's been all Montreal in this one. 3 goals to start the game. The exact message that this group is trying to send as they start the second half of the season. Abby Rock told me this week that over the break there was a big emphasis on finding different ways to score, whether that was coming off of the rush or in the offensive zone. They needed to take some of the load off of Desbiens, and they know they're good defensively, but they've got to put some more pucks on the net. Hey, that's paying off here. But guys, on the flip side, Greg Fargo echoed the same sentiment for his group, saying they also focus on finding different ways to score because, hey, it's only going to get harder in this league as they get closer to the playoffs.
Well, thank you, Abby. And yeah, New York's going to have to figure that out pretty quickly because Montreal with 3 goals on 3 consecutive shots. They're 3 for 4 shooting to start this game. Casey O'Brien with it out of the corner. Sends it down low for Maddie Wheeler. Over for Kaltenkova. Looking for Micah Zandy hard and just missed the touch. Thanks in part to the pressure on her by Laura Stacey. Wheeler Over the line for Kaltenkova. Looking for Wheeler, who does find it on the hopping puck, bottom of the circle. Looking for Kaltenkova. Sharp angle, bouncing puck, never got through. Simpson looking. Simpson sifting and fires one that deflects wide. Hit a body in front, would have been dangerous for Desbiens. Puck hops back out for Simpson. She curls back into open ice. Centering feed, looking for Kaltenkova, took a pinball. Now looking for it is Kaltenkova, and poked out so slowly by Jade Downey-Landry, who just got her stick on it in the slot. Bourbonnais, all on her own. Bourbonnais for Kaltenkova, and fired one high. Might have taken a deflection.
Really good shift out of the break by the New York Sirens, moving the puck well. That rookie line just doing a really good job. Kaltenkova finding space, Wheeler hitting her back door, and really good rush up the middle by Bourbonnais.
Skamura can't find it. Looking for Abby Rock in the blue paint. Up top for Tabin. Her shot gets blocked by Ann Cherkowski, who's already blocked 2-point shots early in this one. She had the game-winning goal against Montreal last time these two teams played in D.C. at the TakeOver Tour game. It's her first PWHL goal. Maureen Murphy, bottom of the circle. Murphy walks in on Osborne, who makes the kick save. Maureen Murphy trying to pick up where she left off. 3 goals in the last 3 games before the break. Was the player of the week at the end of January. Played with one of the goal scorers in this game, Skylar Irving at Northeastern. There's Flaherty. Taken away at the blue line by Girard, who sends it back in for the New York forecheck. Bernard on the pinch, takes the hit from Youngblood. Corralled by Ross. Ross with a shot through traffic that hits the shin pads of Peyton Levis. Slid to the opposite corner. Girard goes low to high. Bernard, quick trigger on that one, but slowly rolls behind the net off the deflection. New York pressure picking up. Here's Levis. Levis walks in and fires one wide. Bernard at the point. Her shot easily handled by Desbiens. And she'll hang on. With Montreal off to a quick start in the first game of the second half. 3 goals in the first period has the Victoire in front in Newark. Nothing lead for Montreal. 5 minutes, 21 seconds to go in the first period. Montreal scoring 3 goals in the opening 10. New York tries to set something off the face-off. And Sarah Fillier lost it bottom of the circle. Katie Tabin throwing it up the boards in search of Downey-Landry. Scored her first goal since she was playing with the Sirens. First goal and point since January of 2024. She scored in New York's win over Montreal. Now she's chasing down the puck, but warded off by her former teammate Bourbonnais. Fillier shifting through neutral ice, pops it back to herself, bottom of the circle. Trying to wheel away from her Canadian teammate Tabin. But Downey-Landry finds it at the half wall. Talk so much about Sarah Fillier and her creativity. 9 assists, leads the Sirens. She had 6 assists in her last 5 games before the Olympics. Had another stellar Olympic Games. Tied for second in the tournament in scoring with 3 goals, including a couple on the power play. She has been the #1 facilitator for the Sirens this year, and of course the Rookie of the Year last year in the PWHL. Will she find the back of the net more often in the second half? One of the questions for the Sirens. I'm sure they love her ability to create, Gigi, but would love for her to score as well.
And it's not for lack of shots. She's tied 3rd in the league with 56 coming into this game. And so she does a great job not getting discouraged when you talk to Coach Fargo about how's the mentality. And she just keeps going to the net, driving hard, doing the little things right, playing away from the puck. But also, like you mentioned, she's contributing and helping her teammates succeed as well as they are able to put the puck in the net.
Now Norcross trying to battle for it in the corner, won by Vespa for New York. Chipped along for Willoughby. Ross on the pinch, seeing some more minutes today. New York has one of their defenders scratched, one of their key defenders, Jinsey Rose, and so Ross getting a few more shifts than usual. She was a great defender at St. Cloud State and missed the beginning of this year, recovering from injury. Dubois up the ice. Willoughby on the chase. Ross blew a tire on her way to that puck. Down by LaBelle. For Dubois, trying to throw it in front. Nobody was there. Kaltenkova sees the open ice and wants to take it. Kaltenkova ridden into the boards by Tabin, but absorbs the check and gets it deep. Mentioned Marie-Philippe Poulin out day-to-day with an injury sustained off of a check in the Olympics by Christina Kaltenkova early in the preliminary round. Aaron Ambrose out as well for Montreal. Poulin day-to-day, Ambrose on LTIR. That was after a boarding penalty on a check late in the third period of the gold medal game. Britta Curl-Salemi, the Minnesota Frost. Skamura. Oshoff winning her first Olympic gold with Team USA. Osborne for Bourbonnais. Up the sheet where Gosling collects. Osborne around for Fillier. Jammed to the wall by Rock. Turned the other way for Czerkowski. Czerkowski over the line. Takes it wide on Gosling. Thrown into the slot for O'Brien. She was interrupted by Boulier. Czerkowski running one of the Victoire defenders into the side of the net. A couple of rookies and former teammates at Clarkson. Both Gosling and Czerkowski. Landry absorbs the check from Fillier. Kristen O'Neill up the wall to Fillier. Out for Flaherty. Trying to indirect. That one goes past O'Neill. 1 minute to go in the first period. 3 goals in the opening 10 minutes by the Victoire, including the first of her career by Skylar Irving. Hopping puck on Desbiens.
They're able to score a goal in the last couple minutes, and that just helps you as you go into intermission. You take a breath, you have a little break, and you regroup and refocus for the next 20.
Nice defensive play in the corner by Tabin to ward off the forecheck, and that'll send Dara Gregg off for Malinkova. Malinkova in on Bourbonnais, and Bourbonnais does a really nice job to get body position on her. Natalia Malinkova, Czechia Olympian who led them in scoring with 4 points during the games. O'Brien cuts it back. Trying to feed across, interrupted by Lundblom. Chipped over for O'Brien. Curls with it, looking for Levis, instead chipped along by Gosling. Still not out on the opportunity by Malinkova. She can't get it free. Tabin collects bottom of the circle, and that will end the opening 20 minutes in our return to PWHL hockey, the first game back from the Olympic break. And Gigi, it was all Montreal early in this one.
Right off the bat, Montreal put pucks on net, was able to capitalize on a couple turnovers and find the back of the net, now allow their team to have a 3-0 lead heading into the second.
Corey Chevry said she wanted simplicity. She got it, she got efficiency, and she's got a 3-0 lead for her Victoire after one. As you take a look at the first period stats, and what jumps out to you for Montreal is 3 goals on 5 shots. Can the Sirens capitalize on a little momentum they got from the end of the first period, where they were putting a little more pressure on Desbiens and causing a little more havoc in front of the 3-time Canadian Olympic netminder? New York throws it on goal. Desbiens parries it away. Sirens trying to start the forecheck on this first shift of the second period. Wheeler throws it in front, bouncing puck off of the skate blade of Simpson and hopped over Kaltenkova's stick. Kaltenkova finds it now, trying to center one, but picked off by Abby Rock. Rock with a nifty move around former teammate Sarah Fillier, chips one looking for Maureen Murphy, but flexed to the wall by Fillier. Boulier on the dump, takes the hit from Fillier, and Downey Landry with it. If you're Greg Fargo in the intermission, what are you talking about as it relates to cleaning up those mistakes, Gigi?
I think just getting...
Downey Landry first in on the backhand, and a kick saved by Osborne.
Really nice move by Downey Landry in that offensive zone in the high slot, but I think just again, we've talked about keeping it simple, and part of that is just moving your feet, sprinting to the puck, sprinting into your lanes, being open and available for your teammates, and communicating. I don't think fans who maybe haven't played the game, sitting at home watching, don't understand. It's so important when you talk, because you're aware, you learn, and you hear it a little bit, just that a half second sooner, what the next play should be, or who is open, or who I shouldn't be moving the puck to.
Now Tabin, keep it in. Arcangelo goes to the point for Flaherty. Tabin thrown toward the net, loose in the paint, they score! Downey Landry again!
It looked like there was a little goaltender interference on that before the puck even came to Osborne, but here's the play where the shot comes in and it goes off. It looks like it just is sitting there, and Osborne isn't able to locate it in time as Downey Landry is able to find the back of the net quick enough on that. You see the traffic net front? It's hard for Osborne to be able to see through those players in front of her.
And with that, New York is going to make a change in net. Callie Shanahan will come off of the bench to relieve Kaylee Osborne. First time that Osborne has been pulled from a start this year. The official call now.
After review, it was determined that there was goaltender interference. Therefore, we have no goal.
Either way, it is now Callie Shanahan's net for the Sirens. Only start for her January 20th against the Ottawa Charge. Allowed 4 goals on 21 shots in an overtime loss. Cherkowski poked away momentarily by Skamura. Now O'Neill sent away from her for Rock. Rock wheeling away from Bourbonnais. Now for Murphy to send it in deep. Shanahan to play the puck. Chips it on past the stick of Simpson and thrown on net by Murphy from the sidewall. That was nearly dangerous. Pass sent past O'Neill all the way down. Callie Shanahan, by the way, came to New York in some ways by way of Montreal. The pick that New York used to draft her in the 4th round came via the Abby Rock trade. Abby Rock sent from New York to Montreal for Kristen O'Neill, a 4th round pick that became Callie Shanahan. Abby Rock, a fan favorite for 2 years here with the Sirens. Now facing off against her old team for the 4th time. She's been a handful against New York this season. A goal and 4 assists in the first 3 meetings. Willoughby speeds in after it. Over for LaBelle. Another former Siren, LaBelle. Played with them in season 1. Sent across. Interrupted by Kaltenkova. LaBelle with a turning try. That one deflects away. And Cherkowski flips it out to neutral ice. Lugged down by DiGirolamo. Giaquinto on the wrap, collected by Shanahan. Wheels it back for Fillier. Fillier taken down by Willoughby, and that will be the game's first penalty. And New York gets a power play, it feels like right when they needed it most.
Really good play by Shanahan, getting the puck behind her net, ripping it around the boards for a nice breakout to Fillier, who's so good at getting her feet moving. That's what we talked about. Or that's at least what you asked me. What would I talk about with this message? Just get your legs going. And what happens? She's able to break the puck out and, most importantly, draw a penalty and hope for her team to get some power play success.
Power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Paper towel, power through tough messes. Here is Casey O'Brien. So with that ad read, it feels like we're finally back. Good to get a Royale Tiger Towel, paper towel, power play read. Nyland Person thrown across, score! Casey O'Brien gets New York on the board, 3-1 on their first shot on the power play.
We talked at the beginning of the game how good the rookies have been lately. This is the 20th goal in the last 11 games for the rookie. Watch the pause, though, by Nyland Person. Watch how she holds it, waits it, allows that seam backdoor to open up, and O'Brien is able to one-touch it really nicely into the net, and that play develops because of Nyland Person's just her poison patience. She didn't force it. She didn't look to shoot into shin pads. She just said, hey, I'm going to wait a half second for that seam to open up. We're going to get a goal.
Nyland Person, who just played in her third Olympics with Sweden, feeding O'Brien, who's now on a 4-game point streak. Keeps it going after the break. O'Brien, a player who was part of the U.S. national team program, played with the United States during the rivalry series. In behind the net, Downey Landry. What a quick turn of events. It was 4-0 a minute ago before Downey Landry's second goal of the game was disallowed on review. Overturned due to goaltender interference. New York makes a goalie change. They get a goal on the power play, and now Peyton Levis with it. She has Fecto. Levis with a shot, fires one high off the glass. Levis had a hand in the last 2 game-winning goals for New York against Montreal. Now Downey Landry taken down by Ross on a 50-50 puck. Good physical play and a stick lift. Carlton Kova maneuvers around Skamura, finds Fillier over the line. Fillier walks into space, missed the shot. Dale Ross with a fire, and that one deflects high. Puck just rolled off Fillier's stick. Now Ross with a shot on a one-timer. Fillier was net front. Desbiens goes down. Everybody climbing to their feet. Puck in the corner, Flaherty. O'Brien pinches that one to the wall, keeps it alive. Murphy couldn't get it free. Centering feed. Simpson squares, fires, blocked. One-timer by Bourbonnais on the loose shot. On the loose puck goes wide. O'Brien jamming at it. Now for Rock. Just trying to get it free out to neutral ice. Fire wagon hockey now as Bourbonnais gets her puck up, gets her stick on the puck around Murphy.
What a great rush there by the New York Sirens. Great press.
And another one. Fillier leads it for Bourbonnais. Oh, off the side of the net. Penalty coming up. Arm is up from one of our officials, and New York's going to go to the box. Montreal now to the power play. Hooking will be the call. And Carlton Kova will sit for 2.
New York, number 98, 2 minutes hooking.
So New York gets a power play goal, but now it's Montreal with the advantage on the hooking penalty by Carlton Kova. Trying to fix the clock now. 2 seconds ran off the clock. Face-off miscue. Stacy from the point. Net front. Saved by Shanahan. With the screen provided in front by Malinkova. Stacy another shot. That one past Malinkova. Might have deflected off of her and wide. Rock. Chipped over for Stacy. Still alive. Now for Malinkova. Big hit in the corner by Allison Simpson. Physical game. Simpson with another check. Bodies piling up in the corner now. O'Brien couldn't get it out. Hopping puck past Rock. Now Wheeler racing for it, but warded away by Rock. Now remember, in the PWHL, you score a shorthanded goal, your player comes out of the box. Jailbreak goal. New York looking for one. Wheeler has speed, but couldn't get to it on time. O'Neill on the wrap. Stacy to keep. This is where Montreal's 2 injuries, Ambrose and Poulin, hurt them a bit on the power play, GG, because they are both usually on that top unit.
Very fantastic players at that, but it is fun to see it's never fun to be an injured player. That's not at all what I was meaning, but to see the player step up in the next person mentality, and some of those athletes on the ice trying to move the puck, but I think around the top of the key, but I think New York has done a really solid job so far as of yet to keep the puck to the perimeter.
Pressuring on the perimeter as well, it looks like. They go low to high. Tabin looking for an angle for this shot. Never got through. Bodies in front. Zandy Hart had the block. Now Skamura flags it down. They'll reset. Skamura with a rising shot off the glove of Shanahan. Trapped for Tabin. Played in her first Olympic Games with Canada this year at the age of 28. Flaherty with a shot, swallowed up by Shanahan. And that will end the Montreal power play. Downey Landry on the draw with O'Brien. Won by Downey Landry. Shot never got through. Second time they went with that wheel play to Skylar Irving on the trigger. Irving below the goal line. Punched off her stick by Sarah Fillier. Couldn't get it past Downey Landry. Now it's O'Brien. O'Brien trying to wedge her way past Gosling. Now it's Colton Kova. She takes the hit from Boulier. New York's going to get another power play. Thrown in front by Bernard. Stopped by Desbiens. And another New York power play as the tempers start to rise. No penalties in the first period. We've got 3 in the opening 11 minutes in the second.
Montreal, number 44, minor penalty boarding.
So boarding the call, you can see how Colton Kova got turned around here.
Yeah, there's another look at that replay of Colton Kova going into the boards and drawing another penalty, and that happens with a great leg, like just explosion to get to the puck. Win all the races to the puck.
Boulier in the box. Power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Paper towel, power through tough messes. Island Person now. The assist on O'Brien's power play goal. O'Brien leaves it for Fillier. Fillier gets it back off the stick of Skamura, but it's offside. Fillier on the slingshot. Over for O'Brien. Setting up in zone now. Island Person leaves for Fillier. Fillier with a high-rising shot that goes all the way down. Sarah Fillier, one of the hardest snapshots in the game. 2 power play goals with Canada in the Olympic Games this past couple of weeks. Rock in the corner. New York trying to wedge it free. Chipped all the way across for Girard. Hopping puck over her stick. Sent on back down by Gosling. Now O'Brien. On the chip out to Colton Kova. Colton Kova delays. Colton Kova walks into a shot. Save, rebound. Oh, Desbiens didn't get the first clean and still stopped Girard net front. Kristen O'Neill now. Couldn't pull the hopping puck to her backhand. Now Stacy trying to speed after it. Bourbonnais battling with Stacy for that puck. 20 seconds to go on the boarding minor to Boulier. Victoire with the second best penalty kill in the PWHL coming into play today. New York scored on its first power play today, though. Bouncing puck loose in the slot. Cherkowski, quick trigger, stopped by Desbiens. Cherkowski up top. Wheeler. Out of the box comes Boulier, and the hopping puck finds Bourbonnais out to center ice. Levis slid over for Zandy Hart. Tabin will chip that one on the deflection. Out of play. One-timer by Stacy off the draw in by D'Arcangelo, but sent it wide. Part of the reason that New York has been so good offensively has been their physical play in the D zone and the ability of these veteran defenders to get the puck up ice quickly. Fillier now looking for O'Brien. Bouncing puck, swiped clear by Stacy. Gets her legs under over the blue line. Now for Downey Landry. Downey Landry with a shot. That one goes wide on the glove side past Shanahan. New York looking for transition. Great feed by O'Brien. Finds Colton Kova. She's got Fillier. Fillier! Oh, what a kick save by Desbiens! Unbelievable.
Wow, what a play. I mean, and the fact that Fillier was able to even catch that pass. Colton Kova threw a bullet across the ice. She caught it, and Desbiens with a finish, the huge save.
Now Wheeler on the cycle. New York buzzing a bit. Gotta feel a bit stung that they didn't get one there, though. What an incredible save by one of the world's best. And Renee Desbiens has played in her third Olympics with Canada and leads the PWHL in basically every goaltending category. Island person into the corner. Took a funny hop off the corner boards. O'Neill off of her skate blade. Back the other way comes Montreal. This is Derek Gregg, who had the game's first goal. Thrown to the boards by Zandy Hart. Derek Gregg on the wraparound, loose in front. Boulier looking for it. She'll curl it back at the sideboards. Boulier trying to evade Zandy Hart, instead takes a spill. O'Neill swiping at it. Skamura gets it free. Now for O'Neill. Zandy Hart. Off the glove of Flaherty. Sent on down by Nyland Person, and Desbiens with it. What we maybe have not talked about enough in this game is how much rubber New York is getting on Desbiens. Right now, out shooting Montreal 22-13. Desbiens has been equal to every task at 5-on-5. The only goal on the power play for New York's Casey O'Brien. Chipped over Bernard. She'll race back with it. Chased by Abby Rock. Rock hounding Bernard. Thrown in front for Skamura, who got a piece but sent it wide.
Really strong forecheck by Rock, both on the penalty kill and this 5-on-5.
Shanahan fumbled it for a second, but hangs on. And the temperatures are rising at Prudential Center.
Beautiful passing play. Colton Cova to Fillier, but no! And Renee Desbiens shuts the door with a 6 save.
Montreal in the second period. It should be 3-2, but we showed you in the open how good Renee Desbiens is. We saw a gorgeous pad stack save a moment ago on Sarah Fillier, and this is what Desbiens has been all year long, the best in the league.
I don't even know what to say. I'm a little speechless after that play. That was so fun to watch. What an incredible athlete.
Yeah, my first thought was old school pad stack. That was fun. Wheeler trying to lift the stick at the blue line. And sometimes when you need to stop your team candidate teammate, one of the best scorers in the world, Sarah Fillier, you got to break out something a little bit different. Haven't seen that in a long time. Wheeler now. There's Andy Hart. Island Person. So still New York's only goal on the power play. And Montreal's 3 goals, all coming in the first 10 minutes of the first period. Skyhook, Catherine Dubois settles, saved by Shanahan. Willoughby crashes into the net, no goal, and the puck is behind the cage. Oh, the bodies are piling up now. Flaherty maneuvers around Fillier. Flaherty from the dot, her shot is blocked by Bourbonnais. Flex to the wall, D'Arcangelo with a fire. That one blocked into the mesh. Good grief.
Just a beautiful heads-up pass. A little flip by LaBelle so that Dubois is able to skate into it. Watch how Shanahan is able to keep the puck in front of her with all those bodies coming at her. But that play by LaBelle is just incredible. She puts such great touch on the pass.
Simpson playing physical with Willoughby in the blue paint. Shanahan keeping it out. This goes back to our conversation earlier when Corey Chevry said that their structure allows this team's creativity and skill to shine. LaBelle knows that Dubois is there, and that enables her to make that play.
In a very high skill play at that.
Taven off the glass. Collected off the outside of her blade by Zandy Hart. Now it's Girard. Tried to funnel one for Levis in behind her and picked up by D'Arcangelo. Looking for Stacy. Off of Stacy, Bernard poked off her stick by Downey Landry and now curled back by Zandy Hart. On the wrap to Girard. Over the red line and dumped in. Nicole Gosling collecting. Had a great month of January. All 5 of her career PWHL points that month. Irving. Backhand flips one toward net with 1 minute to go in the second period. Gregg funnels it up top. Now Boulier. Boulier for Gregg. Thought about the trigger, now fires one, and an easy save by Shanahan, top of her crease. Trying to go low to high there. Gosling, who had activated from D, trying to find Greg at the point, goes all the way down. Greg on the bouncing puck, takes a big check from Colton Kova, ran right through her. Dumped in deep by DiGirolamo. Under 30 seconds to go in the second period. Irving looking for one late for Montreal. Bouncing puck corralled by Skamura. Skamura with it. Poked off her stick in the slot, and now it's Colton Kova trying to feed one for Fillier on the outlet. Instead, here's Rock the other way. Rock maneuvered off of her by one of her good buddies, Jamie Bourbonnais. Now O'Brien. As the period winds down, Fillier couldn't find that. Picked off by Rock. Sent past Skamura onto the stick of Murphy, who fires one at the buzzer, handled by Shanahan. And so New York within striking distance now as we welcome you back from the Olympics to the start of the second half of the PWHL season. Montreal 3, New York 1 after 40 in Newark. Third place Montreal is breathing down the neck of first place Boston. Is 3 points shy of the Fleet. New York is just 3 points shy of third place Montreal, sitting in fourth with half a season left to go. The top four teams reach the postseason, trying to vie for the Walter Cup. Third period underway from Newark, and the Sirens win the opening draw in the third. Simpson over the line, finds Colton Kova, fires, and a blocker save by Desbiens. Quick chance for New York off the faceoff. Bourbonnais looking for one more. She was trying to find Simpson, but now it's Stacy in transition. Downey Landry delays. Stacy trying to leave one for Murphy, but picked off by Fillier. Fillier over the line, leaves it for O'Brien. O'Brien with a shot, gloved down by Desbiens, loose under her pad, and she'll cover. Those transition chances came because of a great New York back check. Diane D'Arcangelo was fed a pass from Stacy. Good stick lift. New York took it the other way, but now it's Skamura. Delayed penalty. Skamura throws one to the blue paint. It squibs free to Skylar Irving. Montreal about to go on the power play. Desbiens leaves the net for the extra attacker. Boulier evades O'Neill, who gives her space. Now it's Rock. Closed down by Wheeler. To the half boards played by Youngblood. Up top, Boulier. Return feed for Rock. Irving for Boulier. Top of the circle now for Rock at the dot. Looking for the one-timer by Irving. That one got blocked. Shin pad of Cherkowski got in the way. Fluttering pass for Gosling. Now for Boulier. Through traffic, pinballs wide. Hit a body in the high slot. Rock for Boulier, fires. That one deflects wide. Still alive, still 6-on-5 with the delayed penalty. Rock flubbed on the one-timer. New York trying to get a touch. They still can't get possession.
New York, number 43, minor penalty for tripping.
Second power play for Montreal, of course, brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Paper towel powered through tough messes. Fruitless first attempts on the power play for the Victoire. Here's Malenkova. Tabin. Up for O'Brien. One-on-one shorthanded. O'Brien takes it wide. O'Brien trying to cut to the net, but lost the puck. Might have gotten bumped by Flaherty on the way in. Again, a shorthanded goal frees your player from the box. Jailbreak goals in the PWHL. Montreal, the only team who has not allowed one this year. Fillier loses her stick. Gosling for Rock. Rock over the blue line. Worked wide by Bourbonnais. And Wheeler gets the clear.
Really good job by New York. And a lot. So Montreal enters the zone, but they were able to. The Sirens were able to close so quickly, send it the length of the ice.
Now Stacy gets zone entry. Purposeful wrap looking for Youngblood. She lets it go through to Rock. Youngblood on the wrap by Skamura to Stacy at the right point. Feathers one for Gosling. Gosling walks in, lost the puck, looking to wrist one on net. Stacey for Gosling. One touch back to Stacey. Net side thrown across for Rock, and a blocker save by Shanahan. Really good look by Skamura from the goal line. Gosling with a shot. That one pinballs to the corner for Rock. Gets it low to high for Gosling. Over again for Stacey. Thrown for Youngblom. Popping puck to the slot. Gosling chips it around. Stacey, one-timer on the loose puck, hit Youngblom, pops up, and score! Deflected high in the air over Shanahan and found the back of the net. And Montreal with a fortunate bounce for the power play goal.
Beautiful pass by Skamura over to Rock, and look at this save by Shanahan. An extension of her blocker to her shoulder on that power play, but here's the one that ended up going into the net as it goes. Stacey rips it, goes off Youngbloom. It looks like her shoulder. All the New York defenders are saying it was her stick, and it did roll off her stick after it hit her shoulders.
Bring Abby Labar, the third member of our crew, in to talk about Lena Youngblom.
Yeah, how about this, guys? Youngblom was without a point in 6 games with the Victoire and then played for Sweden, scored 2 goals and 1 assist. So you talk about that Olympic momentum paying off for here in this one.
Thank you, Abby. Here's Jay Downey-Landry with it. Thrown across looking for Irving. Of course, Youngblom playing with Sweden in the Olympics. They had reached the bronze medal game against the Swiss. Thrown in front for Irving. That one stopped by Shanahan. In fact, Youngblom had 2 goals against her teammate, by the way. Backup goalie for Montreal, Sandra Abstreiter. Goaltender for Germany. Youngblom scored a couple against her. Here is O'Brien. At the half boards. Feeds Gerard, fresh off the bench, and a kick save by Desbiens. Nyland Person at the sideboards. Chipped along, collected by Flaherty. Gerard on the forecheck. Levis comes flying in. Downey-Landry gets there first, now Tabit. Stacey. Chips one looking for Linkova.
There's been a couple lapses. Obviously, they allowed a goal on the penalty kill for them. Obviously, power play for New York. But for the most part, aside from a couple stretches where New York has pushed, Montreal has done pretty solid.
And now the physicality is starting to ramp up. Fecto was in a battle at the sideboards with Tabin. Going to get a penalty to Tabin. If you take a look at Marie-Philippe Poulin, PWHL's all-time leading scorer, set an Olympic record with 20 goals, out by 2 in the semifinal game against the Swiss in a 5.
Montreal number 9, minor penalty, roughing.
New York needs to get to make it a 2-goal game again. They are 1 for 2. Lions goal in the second period. Still New York's only tally. Shanahan plays it behind the net. For those of you who are new to the PWHL, there is no trapezoid rule here. Fillier over the line. Gerard cuts it back, try to throw one across. Flagged down by O'Brien. Pass handcuffs Nyland Person, who handled that very well. Colton Kova interrupted in the slot by Boulier, who lost her stick. Now it's Gerard feeding one for Colton Kova. Didn't get all of it. O'Brien goes seam for Fillier. Fillier pulls, walks into one, and fires it off the glass. O'Brien finds Fillier again. Walks it down to the dot. Over for Colton Kova, blocked by Boulier, who clears.
Really good job, both Boulier and before that, LaBelle with her stick positioning, taking away the passing lanes. But that was such a good offensive play as Colton Kova drops off into the low slot, taps her stick on the ice, begging Fillier to give her the puck, but Boulier did a really good job reading it.
Tchaikovsky wheeling now. Bourbonnais slid across. Wheeler for O'Neill, trying to one-time. Instead finds Bourbonnais. Wheeler again left point. For Bourbonnais. Looking for space. Wheeler Goal line extended, Levis centering one in behind Wheeler, who was cutting to the net. Bourbonnais for Cherkowski under her stick. Chipped along by Levis. And in the corner by Gosling. Glove down by O'Neill. Couldn't get it up top, looking for Bourbonnais, and sent all the way down by Haley Skamura. Tabin about to come out of the box. Will make Montreal 2 for 3 killing penalties tonight against New York. There goes Tabin. Montreal back to even strength. Archie running into Murphy. Boy, Murphy losing her twig in the process. Now Cherkowski. Left for Vespa. Sent off the stick of Flaherty. Another hit off the puck. Youngbloom on Harchie. We told you this is a burgeoning rivalry between these two teams that play physical every game. Starting to see it a little bit behind the play after the whistle. Archie over the line. Waits for the trailer, looking for Bargman, but picked off neatly by Murphy. Sends Youngbloom up the ice, but sealed off nicely by Dale Ross. Archie on the zone exit. Vespa couldn't collect cleanly. Ross chopped that one away from Murphy, sends it in on Desbiens. Feel the tension heating up in this game?
I feel like it's been there, and they're just kind of realizing that the time ticks off the clock. New York really has to increase the pace, increase the urgency, and try to find a way to solve Desbiens.
Urgency feels like the word that is leading to this extra physicality on the New York side. This time is running down on them. 3-game losing streak coming into the break. Rock throwing one in front, looking for Skamura. Turned back the other way to O'Brien. She has Fillier. Fillier over the line. Feeds one for O'Brien. Oh, and a blocker save by Desbiens. It just rolled to the side of the net wide. O'Brien takes a thumping hit from Gosling.
61 Montreal, minor penalty, illegal check.
Illegal check, the call on Nicole Gosling, who throws Casey O'Brien into the boards in New York, heading to a crucial power play in the third. Fillier for O'Brien, trying to get it past D'Arcangelo. She's there with Stacy, trying to pin that to the wall. Hopping puck, finds Colton Kova, bottom of the circle. She'll settle. O'Brien. Gerard and Colton Kova net front. O'Brien hurls it back away from D'Arcangelo. Now Fillier. Forced to the backhand, spins it back to the half boards. Looking for O'Brien, interrupted by Stacy. Return feed to Fillier. Gerard in front for Nyland Person. Saved Desbiens in the skates of Flaherty. Worked free by Nyland Person. Gerard. Nyland Person walks, delays, fires one high. Caught either Desbiens or iron and goes out of play.
Another good example of the patience by Nyland Person. Watch Taylor Gerard come out, find Nyland Person, who, smart job, reads that no player is able to follow her. She's able to get low, create an option she also is able to get the rebound, move it up top. Again, patience, fakes the shot, pumps to her right, rips it again with a much better lane to the net.
Hit right where the post meets the crossbar. New York that close to getting back to within 2. Nicole Gosling sitting for that illegal check. It's her first PWHL penalty in her career for the rookie out of Clarkson. O'Brien over the blue line, takes it wide to the half boards. Funneled for Colton Kova, left for Nyland Person, and over to Fillier as the top unit stays out there for New York on the power play. Fluttered over for Nyland Person. Feeds O'Brien. Feathered for Fillier. Fed across, save Desbiens, net side on Gerard. Fillier looking to go short side. Goes behind the net. Girard looking for it and thrown all the way down.
Wow, what a save. From here you can see Taylor Girard pop out from her net front position, present her stick, and Fillier saw it, saw the whole thing develop and ripped it and couldn't quite deflect in as Desbiens saw it as well.
Still Montreal up 3 and kills another penalty. They are 3 for 4 killing today. And now in transition, Dubois. She's ridden off the play by Zandy Hart. Tied up at the blue line there. Chip back for Tabin, who sends it all the way down. New York entering the break. Lost its last 3, but they did get points in 2 of those. Overtime loss and a shootout loss to Ottawa and Boston, respectively. So the month of January, despite those 3 losses, was still pretty kind to them. Got them up the standings into 4th place. Now it's Czerkowski. 14 games remain for the Sirens. They have never made the playoffs in the first 2 years of the league. Meanwhile, Montreal in 3rd place, trying to climb up the standings. They've finished either 1st or 2nd in the first 2 seasons. They entered the break riding high, winning 6 of their last 8. There are only 2 losses in that span to New York, both 1-goal defeats. Skamura. Wheels looking for Gosling, instead furthers the cycle to Gray. Chipped along for Rock. She's pinned to the wall by Bernard in the corner. 7.5 to play in the 3rd period. Skamura run into by Fecto. Chipped free by Bargman, but sent it into the New York bench and out of play. So a 4-1 lead for Montreal. And Renee Desbiens stays unbelievable. She stopped all shots at 5-on-5 and a 4-1 Montreal lead.
This broadcast and its content are copyrighted by PWHL Holdings, LLC for the private use of our audience. All rights reserved. Any other use or reproduction of this broadcast without the consent of PWHL Holdings, LLC is prohibited.
Montreal trying to close down a win in the first game after the Olympic break, even -2 of their stars. Marie-Philippe Poulin and Aaron Ambrose out with injuries today. Still a 4-1 lead for the Victoire. New York speeding into the zone. Here's Norcross chipping it along. Good play by Darkangelo out of the corner. Now Boulier pestered by Harchi. Gosling. Downey Landry in a foot race.
I mean, it's really fun to see. That's what every team wants, right? You want a group who can lead and score, but you want a depth who can contribute those key, timely goals, and that's what you're seeing. Right out of break, able to come in and utilize, whether you're at the Olympics, have more of a role, that you're a goal scorer at those games, or maybe you're back home cheering them on, but working on your craft, getting better, finding ways to help elevate your team's success toward this playoff run.
Malenkova with a shot, fires one wide. Thrown in front again. Loose puck looking for it was Giaquinto. Instead, it's Malenkova going to the wall, tumbling with Wheeler. All 4 goals by Montreal by someone who scored either their first or second goal of the year. Giaquinto stopped by Shanahan. Flaherty with a shot that gets blocked. Tabin. York with 6 Olympians that had 4 medals. Honored today before the game. Fillier with O'Brien. Over the blue line she comes. Left for Fillier, just a little bit too far for her. It's Kontankova to curl back away from LaBelle. Looking for Bernard off of her stick to Flaherty. Flaherty taking it wide. Flaherty looking across for LaBelle, a little bit too hot to handle. One of the things that Corey Chevry talked about in regards to simplifying the game today, with the Olympians coming back, you got 9 players that were part of 5 different programs. And I thought it was so interesting. She talked about trying to get everybody back on the Montreal system. Corey Chevry showed them a presentation of all of their systems that they showed a couple of months ago when everybody was getting acclimated.
very smart. Like, because if you think about it, and she made the point, she said 9 Olympians, 5 different teams essentially, where they have 5 different languages for the systems that they work, with 5 different ways coaches are communicating with them. And she's like, no, we're playing Montreal hockey. This is our identity, and a reminder.
4-1 Montreal in the third, and you can wear your colors proudly. Support your team in the entire women's game with Bauer PWHL jerseys and apparel. Available on Bauer.com and at participating retail stores. Wee Woo fans are back at Prudential Center tonight. Sirens faithful out in full force for the first game after the Olympic break. But it was Montreal's 3 goals in the opening 10 minutes of play. Gave them a relative stranglehold on this game. New York battled back to make it 3-1 with a Casey O'Brien second period power play goal. But Amy Youngblum's goal here in the third has added some insurance for Montreal. A power play goal, and kind of a weird one, right? A puck deflected off of her in the slot, hopped way up in the air over Shanahan's shoulder. She couldn't track. Long review for a high stick. Off the face-off, Scamurro with a turning try. That one hops into the corner. Scamurro, who won gold with Team USA and had a great tournament in the Olympics. Didn't get a whole lot of ice, under 10 minutes of ice time per game, but still was a +5 and 3 goals in the tournament. She'll see a much more increased role with Montreal down the stretch here.
Just a great example of a player not counting their minutes, but making their minutes count.
He goes down in the corner, and now it's Gerard in transition. 1-on-2 with Giaquinto. Applying pressure along side DiGirolamo. DiGirolamo with the physical play in the corner on Kristen O'Neill. Similar story for O'Neill, who played under 11 minutes a game with Team Canada and still had 3 goals in the tournament, including the shorthanded goal in the gold medal game. Made her presence felt. Greg Fargo talked about how reliable and consistent she has been this year for them. Playing against her old team, a former Victoire. She got her stick on that puck in front of Taven, but chipped it wide. O'Neill up top for Simpson. Wheeler just getting up from a hit. Now Youngblum in the corner. Leaves it for DiGirolamo. On past her to Taven. New York on the forecheck trying to get one and make this a 2-goal game late. Time is running out rapidly. Shanahan is peering to her New York bench, and now she's on her way to the bench for the extra skater. No time to waste for New York. They got to get 3 in 3.5 minutes, so they'll play with the extra attacker. O'Brien. DiGirolamo. Flip out to neutral ice. Montreal has not beaten New York on the road this year. They won the first meeting between these two teams at Place Belle, and now it's Fillier over the line looking for O'Brien. Too far for her. Picked up by Flaherty with the net still empty. Place Belle back in November. Abby Rock in her first game against her old team had the beautiful between the legs goal, a goal and 2 assists. Desbiens with a 33-save shutout. Montreal trying to even the season series now. Under 3 minutes to go. O'Brien looking for it. Gerard lets one fly, sent it wide on the deflection. Fillier wrapping one for Zandy Hart, collects on the backhand and throws it across. Island Person for O'Brien. Island Person again. Zandy Hart under her skate blade. Wrapped off the glass and out, took a deflection, so it will be an offensive zone draw for New York with 2:23 to go. A fan with a nice souvenir. A little bit of a scare, it would appear, but a souvenir nonetheless. Yeah, 1 second. Boulier. Wheeler looking for it. Turkowski. PWHL action picks up again tomorrow. Hillary Knight and the Torrent return home. They'll face the Toronto Scepters. More action Saturday. First place Boston. Back in action visiting Ottawa. That one rolls toward the empty net. It'll go wide for an icing. Saturday, Megan Keller, Aaron Frankel, Alina Mueller taking on the Charge, who are trying to climb into a playoff spot. Boston at the end of today going to end up in a first place tie with Montreal. They'll pick up the 3 points from this one, barring a last second comeback by New York. Urbanet hands it off for Bernard. Her shot goes wide. Colton Kova trying to throw it in front. Greg will chip it out. Action continues Sunday. Big doubleheader. Minnesota at Montreal as the Victoire return home for a matinee. Toronto stays in the Pacific Northwest. They're going to take on Vancouver. All 8 teams back in action between tonight and Sunday. Gerard collects under 90 seconds to go in this one. DiGirolamo getting Gerard to the wall.
Just a bomber. You work so hard to get the puck in the offensive zone and just not able to connect with your teammates and send it the length of the ice.
So now Fillier with the net still empty. 1 minute to go in the third period. Montreal trying to put a button on their win to open the second half post-Olympic break. Even without Poulin and Ambrose. Stopped by Desbiens, who's been miraculous today, stopping 30 of 31. And every shot she's faced at 5-on-5. New York playing 6-on-5 now with the extra attacker loose in front. Colton Kova swiping at it. Chipped away, thrown in front, looking for Gerard again, and sent all the way down by LaBelle. Under 30 seconds to go now. Montreal looking to move into a first place tie with Boston to pick up the 3 points. Giaquinto. Chip to the boards, out for Colton Kova. A game where Montreal has gotten 4 goals by players either scoring their first or second goal of the season. Desbiens will put the finishing touch on a Victoire victory in the first game after the Olympic break. New York had a tough time today with 3 early goals by Montreal, and we'll send it down to Abby Labar. She is with our performer of the game, Renee Desbiens.
All right, so you come off of an emotional Olympics, and then you quickly shift your mindset here. How were you able to do that so seamlessly and then to help your team?
I won't lie, I think my body went on automatic pilot. I didn't do too much thinking out there. I try to keep it very simple, and obviously when your team scores 3 goals in the first, it definitely helps.
Let's talk about that team in front of you, because you're missing some key components from the lineup and their ability to connect and play so well together. What was the key to their success?
Yeah, we know we have a very deep team, and so far, it's been nice to see some scoring, some girls getting some dirty goals and hardworking, and all of them getting rewarded for all they do so well for us. So we knew all of us had to step up, missing some of our top players, but we all did, and it was a fun one.
Miraculous performance by Desbiens and company tonight as Montreal climbs into a first place tie with a 4-1 victory over New York. For Abby and Gigi Marvin and our entire crew, I'm Andrew Luftglass saying so long from Prudential Center.